Hello. Good evening. Good evening. Who's going to be the first to join us today? Hello, somebody's here. Who is this? Who's here? Hello, hello. Oh, I can't see people's comment.
This is just welcome.
Holiness. Hello, good evening. I can see you. Hello, Queen Nkiro. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining. As you're coming in, guys, please start to share immediately and also invite your friends. Hello, Jake. Good evening. Chinwe. Good evening. Afolabi. Good evening. Thank you for joining. So this evening we're having a book review. Queen Anastasia. Good evening. Patty, how are you? Queen Patty. When I say queen to one person, I feel like I have to go queen all the way. Oriyomi, good evening. Paul, good evening. Justine, good evening. How are you? Thank you for joining. Patrick, good evening. Hello, Sinkamzi, good evening. Oriyomi, good evening. Hello, Jolai. Thank you all for joining. Please start sharing immediately. Today we have a book review. As you know, we have 3 different programs during the 7 p.m. Program. So today we're having book review. We had a fantastic Kingdom. Today we had attributes. So each day is something new to look forward to. And today we're looking forward to the book review. You must have seen the title, Problem, Shortcut to Problem. Okay, we're back. All right, guys, sorry about that. I think my internet just went off for a bit there. Sorry. So the title is Problems, Your Shortcut to Prominence. Problems, Your Shortcut to Prominence. That title alone seems like, whoa, problems. Who wants problems for prominence? So I'm so interested in this because I always think problem is an issue. I don't want problems. I'm not interested in problems, but I think this will change my mind. Dr. Sunday has many titles, and most of those titles alone is enough to change your life, let alone going into the book. So this one is one of them, Problems, Your Shortcut to Prominence. So I'm going to okay, so, one second, we're just moving. Oh, the sun is reflecting badly here. Yeah. Okay, so guys, we have a few people here today. So it's not just going to be me and Dr. Sunday and maybe 1 or 2 other people. We have many people here, and it should be a very interesting program. So I'm going to turn the camera so that you can see the people here, and we'll get started. But before I do, can you please share, and also invite your friends. Thank you very much. Hold on.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, everybody. Hello, everyone. Good evening from Ukraine.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello. Hi. Okay. All right. So who's going to start this?
Of course, I started. No question.
Okay.
Who's going to start? The book we are reviewing today is called Problems, Your Shortcut to Prominence. Problems, Your Shortcut to Prominence. Problems, Your Shortcut to Prominence. Is this title a mistake? I mean, is it not an error? Problems, isn't problem something that everybody runs away from? And when you think of problems, is that not what everybody in Africa is thinking? That's the very reason why you need to run away from the continent. Problems, when you think about problems, is that not what everybody sees as the greatest threat and the greatest tragedy of life? Problems, is that not why people go to church to pray? So that God will save them and prevent them from problems. Problems, is that not why the anointed men of God are being able to build the mega churches and mega buildings? Just because people are trooping into their churches. Is that not what people are making ministry out of? The tragedies and problems of people. So how can I be looking at problems and call it a shortcut to prominence? Maybe it's a mistake. Or maybe it's another word that was supposed to be there, not problems. Is any one of you familiar with the book? None of you is familiar with the book. Because this is a new book I just released. It's on Amazon. And it's a topic I've treated before. But it's better to be familiar with the book for you to know where we're coming from. But if you are used to listening to me, you might have an idea. But is that a problem? Is that a mistake? Problem, your shortcut to prominence. Problems, could we really mean problems? So, because if you are talking about shortcut to prominence, everybody should be looking for any shortcut to prominence. If I tell you there is shortcut to prosperity, everybody wants it. Shortcut to greatness, everybody wants it. Shortcut to success, everybody wants it. What's the shortcut to anything? Everybody wants it. But if I tell you that shortcut is the name of that shortcut, then you might think, no, maybe that's not what I asked for. I'm asking for shortcut. So what do anybody has to say anything about that? Anybody has a view, opinion? Do you want to say something?
I always have a feeling.
Okay, you want to be the first one. Start.
Okay, usually people are running from problems. So, and even, people are told not to use the word problems. People use, instead of word problems, word challenges, because they don't want to bring in their
Those
life.
are motivational speakers.
Yeah, exactly.
American motivational speakers
Exactly.
talk
And
about
all the world is in it, and church is in it. Also, church is in it.
And
Everyone-
churches also.
Of course, yeah.
okay.
So those motivational speakers been very successful in putting this
I'm
in
the
our
opposite
minds.
of their thought.
Yeah, so people are running from problems and don't want even to discuss. And like this, they are finding the longer way to their success. This is how we are brought up. This is how we are brought up to run away. Everyone, our mothers, our fathers, they wish us to not have problems. Everywhere, when we have birthday, we are wished a success, fast way, but without problems. We are wished every time to be without problems. So how do you know that problems are your something that can help you to get your success? Maybe you will be the only one, the first person in people's lives to hear that problems is the shortcut. And I heard about this because, of course, I'm listening to you. And since I found out that problems is my shortcut to prominence, I went back to my life and started to, and I thought to review my life. And I thought, which problems I didn't use and didn't convert to my benefit. And I started converting my problems to benefit. Those things that I wanted to forget about, I took them out of my past and started using them.
You wanted to forget about them?
Yeah, I wanted to forget even about those problems that I went through, that were
Even
in the
that
past.
were in the past?
Yes.
You still want to forget?
I wanted, but now I'm using them. I'm using them.
Is that the reason why you started this new program for people who had a
Miscarriage.
miscarriage?
Yes. I had For a long time, I had one website where I didn't.
So you had miscarriage.
I had two miscarriages.
Ooh.
I wanted to forget about this, and actually, I didn't want even to share with anyone that I had it, because it's like a problem that has to be inside, hidden. And when I found out that every fifth woman went through this, every fifth, like if you look at all women and you color them, you color every fifth woman in color, so you will see in red color, for example, so you will see everything red, because one out of five, it's a lot, it's too much. So because everyone keeps silence and everyone wants to forget about this problem, people are having more psychological problems after this. They even have divorces. They have.
So how many people have liked or read or visited that page?
My website, I opened last year a new website. 3,000 people visited.
3,000 people. So you got known by 3,000 people who would not have gotten to know you.
Yeah, without problem.
If we had not talked about that problem, because this is the problem that was interesting to them. That is why they went to that page. I didn't go to that page because it's not the problem that is interesting to me. But it's interesting to somebody, and 3,000 people that wouldn't have known that you existed.
Yeah.
That didn't know there is anybody like you who existed. You became prominent to 3,000 people.
Without advertising.
Just because of problem. So that right there is one little proof to my hypothesis that problem is actually your shortcut to prominence. Okay, you try now. Let's try to say you want to touch 3,000 people now, or in any city, but just by yourself, without anything, just like that.
Even to find people who are having these problems, to help them, like you have to.
It's very difficult to find them.
If you talk to them, they will not open.
Yes.
If you give flyers, you have to stay like 3 months, at one place to give flyers and to find them. So how do you find them? You have to talk about your problems and how you overcame them. And when people, they find out that you went through it, they are ready to hear to you because you went through them. And actually, I'm happy now. You cannot imagine what I will say now, but I am happy I had miscarriages. And because
An African woman will not understand that.
I can explain. The reason I'm happy is because I got some wisdom that I wouldn't get without going through this.
So right now I want to talk to every woman that is barren. Or if you know every woman that is barren right here, or any woman that is not married, any woman that is having any kind of challenge that all the prophets and the big bishops are telling you to bring offering and tithe and special offering and money, prophet money, faith offering, prophet offering, anything for, and where they're telling you to come for night vigils and some programs and making you to look as if you are the most unlucky person just because you have a problem. I want to tell you that why don't you look at the other side of the coin? That is what Kate has just done. She looked at the other side of the coin, and thanks to the fact that she looked at that other side of the coin, she's able to even say, I thank God that I had two miscarriages. She had 2 miscarriages, and now she's saying, thank God I had those miscarriages, because thanks to those miscarriages, I discover some treasures, some diamonds, some blessings that I would otherwise not have discovered. So why should you think that the only blessing in the world are children? That's yes, children are a form of blessing, but that's just one category of blessing. But why should you limit all blessings to children? There are many other blessings that are no worse than children, that might even be better than children. Because there's children, if they are going to be blessing or not, nobody knows yet. Maybe they are going to be catastrophe. Maybe they are going to be problems. So because you have tragedy like miscarriage, or you are barren, or you are not married, or you are single, if you are going to look at it as a problem, thank you. Thank God for you. Congratulations. You are going to live in sorrow, and you are going to live in exploitation. Other people are going to be taking advantage of you. They are going to be exploiting you, riding on your tragedy. But why don't you look at those problems as hallelujah? Well, let me now see how I can convert that. The thing is about conversion. It's the ability to look at problem and convert it into your shortcut to prominence. This is what this book is about. It's going to teach you how to convert every tragedy in your life, every unfortunate situation in your life, every problem and challenge you are having right now in your life, to change it and convert it into a blessing. Into a blessing. Let me show you the book again so that you recognize it when you see it. Problems, your shortcut to prominence. Problems, your shortcut to prominence. Anybody has an idea about this? Any comment? No comment, I continue. If you want to comment, make a comment on time. You have to be an obstacle.
Thank you so much, Pastor. I also have a personal experience of problems being an opportunity, a shortcut to my prominence. The last 10 years of my life, I was studying medicine, and there was a period of that time when it was real problem, lot of problems, because then there were certain accreditations that my school was supposed to have, but we could not have them
in Nigeria.
Okay. We could not have them because for whatever reasons, and so we were stagnated for many years. At that period in time, it was
big problem.
It was big problem. It was just like somebody deliberately put a stop to.
And you are going to churches.
And I was praying every day, because every prayer point was about that, and every revelation will be. Every demon that is putting a stop, that is delaying us.
So you thought it was Satan that was behind?
Yes, I thought it was Satan. I thought it was devil, and we were doing all sorts of programs, VGs.
Were you going to some night VGs?
VGs, months, sometimes we say 30.
And some mountains like this?
30 nights of VG.
30 nights of VG?
Yes, 30. We did 30 nights of VG. We did 30 days of fasting. We did all kinds of prayers just to get accreditation.
And you wait when you see how that event turns, because if it not had been for this closure of that school, he would have been sitting right here beside Pastor Sunday Adelaja.
Yes.
And he would have become everything he has become now, because he would have remained the same in that environment, thinking that it is Satan or demons and things that are responsible for his situation and his limitation in life. But you continue. Let it be your story.
Thanks, Pastor.
Let it be your story.
So at that period, every revelation was always about, this is a problem. God is going to solve this problem. God is going to remove the demon of delay and all the kind of,
demon of delay.
Yes, we had people come and give us.
When did they give back to that one? You're one of the last borns in the family. In the African Christendom.
In Africa, we believe that every problem is given birth to by a demon. That there is a demon that is responsible. We quote scriptures.
So it cannot be a blessing then.
That is the perspective. That is the view. We quote scriptures like Daniel was praying, and then he was expecting answers from God, and then there was a demon that stopped answers to his prayer, and that was all those kind of things that we were used to. So all kinds of revelations. God is coming to solve your problem.
Satan is having a heyday. It's very popular in your place. So. He's a celebrity.
He's a celeb. He's a celeb. We call it celeb.
Satan is a celeb. That's a celebrity. Latest celebrity. Latest. He has been there since.
What is
His popularity has skyrocketed.
Serious one. Serious. So that was the kind of experience. At that point in time, to be very honest with you, I was problem focused. All that I saw was problems.
Do you think that our whole country is like that?
Yes, absolutely. I was just like a tiny piece of the whole material.
A grain.
Yes, I was just a tiny dot there. So that is basically what is going on in the whole country. Everything is problems. But
But problem is good now.
As opportunity. We didn't see it as shortcuts. We didn't see it as an opportunity. That is an opportunity. We rather see a demon is responsible for this. We want to just do everything to evade, to run away from. I wanted to run away from that problem. I wanted to change. If I had the opportunity to change school at that time, I would have run away. In fact, some of my friends actually they jumped ship. They ran to other places. So, but then that continued for some time. All of a sudden, there was a change in government of my state. And then when the new government came on board, they said, no, we are not going to continue with your medical school. We are actually going to lay the whole thing, or we are going to scrap it. And then it was at that point in time that we even discovered that we had a voice. So we began to speak out. We began to write to newspapers. We began to go to radio stations. We became very, very popular, very easily. It was like the whole media houses were interested in our situation. So we became the celebrities. People were talking, and I think a lot of us were enjoying that thanks to problems. We were enjoying that. Then the new government said that, okay, what they are going to do is that they are going to give scholarships to the first set of people that were in the medical school to go abroad and study. There was no way that could have happened to me if the problem had never been there.
So it was not the prayer that brought the change. It was your activism.
Yeah, it was we discovered the strength of activism, the strength of unity. We discovered
what prayers didn't do. Proactiveness did.
Proactiveness. As a matter of fact, the first day that we went to speak with the governor himself, right in the office, I never even knew I could get to see the governor that directly. So it was that first day that he said, what are you guys advocating for? All of this had been, he showed us the perfect list. I'm sending all of you to Ukraine to go and study. So he just brought out we already had everything, and we sat around, and that began a series of things. So to cut the long story short, that thanks to problem, I'm in Ukraine today. Thanks to problem, I was able to meet Pastor Sunday, who is mentoring me. Thanks to problem, it opened a new phase of life entirely for me. All of that could not have been possible if I didn't have that problem. So if I have to look back, I have to live my life all over again. I will
Look for that problem.
look for problem. If the problem
Any problem.
if problem is not looking for me, I will look for it.
Just like you are looking for problems right now with the articles you are writing. You are discovering problems in African churches, and you are addressing them.
Yes.
In fact, the reason why you are able to write every single article is because you see another problem.
Yes.
So any new problem you have become a stepping stone.
Absolutely.
Tell me about how you are exploiting the problems in the African church and the African society right now.
Thank you, Pastor. One of the things is that
Because you are taking
these
advantage
problems,
of them.
yes, taking advantage of them, because these are things many people don't want to talk about. So it provides me a rare opportunity to talk about what everybody doesn't want to talk about. And as somebody who writes articles, I understand that the thing that matters, the article that really gets people to people's interest, attention, are those topics that nobody wants to talk about. So if you are writing about what everybody's writing about and all of that, well, but if you really do not mind problems, if you will just stick yourself out there, then you get people to read that article, you get people's attention.
Do you think that because you are talking about, you are putting yourself into problems by raising all those issues and problems people are not raising, do you think prominence has come to you?
Absolutely, Pastor.
Do you think somebody got to know you who didn't know you before?
Kate saw me this afternoon and said the popular success, and I was really wondering, really, am I that popular, So thanks to problem is, like Pastor said, is your shortcut to prominence. So prominence, when you address problems, when you're able to look problems in the face, just like a mighty man that would, one of Pastor's videos, who are the mighty men, you saw that picture of one man standing to a bull and holding the bull by the horns. And there's an adage like that in English that they say he had, an idiom, right? That he had the bull by the horns. Take the bull by the horns. Men who are ready to take the bull by the horns, who are ready to face problem. When a bull is coming, 99% of people want to run. They want to scatter, but there are men who will stay their ground and say, this is my opportunity to be an hero.
And when it does it,
it becomes a generational hero.
Prominence.
Prominence.
So you think this thing we're talking about problems, your shortcut to prominence. The way you are talking is like you are agreeing.
I absolutely agree, Pastor.
You think it's not some form of error?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Anybody want to comment on that too?
Yes, sir. Well, hello everyone. This is Anuojo, and what a title! Well, I believe following Pastor Sunday, you would know that his titles are not conventional. But if you pay attention to details, you find the sense in it. You find the truth in it. Problems, your shortcut to prominence. I believe I also have a very practical example how who I am today is a product of series of problems that I have faced in my life, and listening to someone who, contrary to my foundational belief, because which was any opportunity you have to talk to God, or any opportunity you have to talk to someone who happens to be successful, yeah, or you're going to church and you're told to bring prayer requests, because I was born and bred and I went to church like real church boy. So when we go to church, we always go with this prayer request. They tell us to come with prayer request, and in your prayer request, while preparing for what you want to take to God, everything that is there are problems that you want God to supernaturally remove. So
you hated problems then?
Come on. When we're thinking of what to write, because they say you must come with a prayer request though, and you're thinking of what to write, what can I write and I want God to solve? I'm thinking of all the problems I have.
So God has to solve it. Even if there is problem, why should you bring God in? Why God?
Well, because we're not taught how to.
Why God? Why disturb God?
No, we're not. We
a lot of things, a lot of problems, God doesn't have anything to do with it.
Yeah.
You don't have to bring God into problems at all, into your problems. Only in rare occasions, God could be brought or invited into problems.
Yeah.
Even if there are problems there, it's your own problem. It's your challenge. It's your opportunity.
Yeah.
So if you are going to leave it for God, then the thing is not going to be resolved, because a lot of 90% of problems, they are supposed to be resolved by you, not by God.
That's right.
So if you are always talking to God about problems, then what do you do?
So the point is, when we talk to God about those problems and we don't find answers, or it doesn't get better, then it begins to change our perspective of God. So we begin to see God as either he's not nice enough, he's not good, because but I brought my prayer request to you, God.
Okay.
And
so
then,
that might be the reason why a lot of people get mad at God.
A lot of people are mad at God. And then a lot of people are mad at God. But somehow they are giving hope that maybe their faith wasn't strong enough the last time they prayed. Yeah, and so if they can go ahead the next time and maybe release a greater amount of faith, then their problems will be solved. So that was how I was raised. I never saw problems as opportunities. I never learned how to leverage on challenges and on problems. But having grown and then listening to the whole series of conversion, now I hunt problems, because I'm like,
you hunt for problems.
We look for it. So it's like latest problem. Myself and Saveto, Victor Bamishaye, we have our live. We do a live broadcast. We started last year September. So every week we come out live and we talk and we address issues. But something happened just within the space of a week right now. And what was it? We just went head on problems on social media.
Crusaders.
Yeah. We just went head on. Like, some people were like, what is wrong with these guys? As in, like,
but because that means relevance has started. Once you do that, your significance time has come. Your time of significance has arrived. In fact, your time of celebration has arrived. Or even though that is the time you will begin to have controversies like crazy.
Yeah.
But controversies, you're stepping soon to significance.
That's right. That's right. So, I would like to share this personal. This would be on the which level of truth now? I think it would be on the third level of truth, where I want to share my story to the world. Something that happened to me personally. In the space of 10 years, I lost 2 brothers, and that would be a tragedy because it was my elder brother and my younger brother, and when I lost my elder brother, I was quite young, so I really did not understand so much about what it means to lose a person. But then, having grown, and then my younger brother, which was he was 6 years younger than me, we already had plans. I was going to be a medical doctor, he was going to be a pharmacist. Come on. Like, when we speak, we're like, okay, so when I'm doing my hospital job, your pharmacy is just close to me, I direct them to you. And then he was doing almost everything I was doing. He was into music as I am into music. He was just one bright boy. And then we lost him. So it was tragic for me. But then I already learned the principle of conversion, and I already learned how to convert problems. You know, I was living in the fear of death also. And because that's like what we pray. It's just like we're just praying against nobody will die again in our family. No, we're not going to lose anybody again. And then, you know, then I
concentrate your life on the negatives.
On the negatives. Then I realized that as long as I was carrying that fear of death, I never actually lived. Because I was too scared to launch out. I was too scared to do what I really wanted to do, because what will happen? Who is going to attack me? What will be this and that? But then when that tragic incident happened, I learned also the power of solitude. So I was pastoring a church. I didn't tell anybody in my church about it.
Right, very good.
For 1 whole month, I went into solitude. So you see me outside, I'll smile, I will hug you, I'll do everything. But then after that, I go back into my solitude. And then I started asking questions. I started looking for how I can convert this. It was from that experience, it was from that challenge, it was from that problem that an initiative was birthed. Mind Revolution Initiatives.
Wow.
That I have started right now. And it was from that experience that I started a school. I never thought that I would start a school while in school. And it was from there I started a school of purpose and destiny. It was because of that incident I started asking myself, why am I here? Because I can die tomorrow. Because my brother is dead. Nobody knows who he is. He is gone. The other one died and then he's gone. The story is gone. Okay, so tomorrow I can go. So if I go tomorrow, what will he say about me? If I go tomorrow, what would it be? So now I stopped fearing death. Then what I started getting scared of is never to live. And for me to finally die and then realize I never lived. So that challenge made me discover my purpose. That tragedy made me discover my hidden treasures, and it made me launch out into the deep. I just started doing things I never, in a space of 1 year. What I achieved in a space of 1 year, I never achieved it for 6 years I spent in Ukraine. And the only reason why I was able to achieve in 1 year what I never achieved in the space of 6 years of my stay in Ukraine was because of a problem. It was because of the loss of my younger brother. So truthfully, I would say that problems actually are shortcuts to prominence. I remember the story that Pastor gave one time, that when he went to Nigeria, everyone was saying, there is no work here, things are hard, things are difficult. And then he said he went with, I think he went with 2 Russians, and they were on the street and they were like, this is money I'm seeing here. like who is saying there's no money? This is money. I'm seeing money everywhere. Well, really, it's
people are seeing problems.
Yeah, but we're not taught to see opportunities.
But not to annoy you, not to offend you anyhow, but despite everything you have done in the last 1 year, which has been better than in the last 6 years, but I will tell you that I personally took note of you, or took notice of you. Even though I had listened to your video and listened to your interviews, it was all good, but you know, it was what anybody else could do. But until last week, you came alive you started existing from last week or 2 weeks ago, yes.
Yeah.
Because as long as you are doing what any other person can do, you are not existing. But when you started going head on, I've not seen what he has done, but I've heard his news from other news. But you for yourself, I'm saying, I just came across. There is no human being can be indifferent. Either you are going to be shocked, you are going to say respect for anybody who could be as bold and as definite. You gain a name for yourself immediately. You just came alive. You just like from non-existence. You just became alive. You just gave yourself an identity right there. And this should be a lesson to everybody. Once you are doing what everybody is comfortable with, once you are doing everything that is not offending anyone, once you are doing what is okay, just like every other person, pastor in church or something like that, you are not there. But once you begin to step out and do what you know is right in your own heart, and do it with conviction, that is what will not make you to be forgotten. That is what makes you to start beginning to live. In fact, your life, I just started with that last 2 weeks or so, or 1 week. Something, you just came alive. It is another level. So, because you are no more afraid of problems, you are rather challenging them and using them as your stepping stone. Yeah. Okay, any other person want to join?
Maybe I just want to add something to what he said there. I think we live right now in a generation that our plague is that of convenience. Everybody wants convenience. Everything is just, how can it be more suitable for me? How can I be more restful and all? But one thing, comfort. Yeah, the comfort is the word. The plague of comfort. But one thing Pastor has told us is that we begin to die the moment we get comfortable. So the moment that you get comfortable, that is when you actually begin to die. Your life begins to end. But when we are going through pain, that is when we can actually experience growth. So the moment of pain is the moment of growth, and the moment of convenience, of comfort, is actually the point of death. So I think that is very...
This is the book, and it's on Amazon. Problems, your shortcut to prominence. And I think it's on Akada too. Okada books, yes.
Can I read some of the comments?
It's like some of them are still eager to talk.
Oh, Doctor, thank you for showing us problem, because like me,
So if you have problems in Africa, prominence, they will...
So, like, last week, on my live broadcast, the government press team was on my platform. The chief press secretary to the speaker of my state was on my platform.
Are you serious?
So I was able to take the problem and to tell them that what you are doing is they are brainwashing you guys in that part of the world. So the problem of religion has elevated us, because it been we just say, okay, we want to do the normal thing, what everybody is doing, and so we will not have that opportunity for us to rise to significance. To everyone who is watching, our religion, we've been taught and brainwashed to pray for good things. But the last time I checked, God did not give Adam a chair or a table, but he hid them on the tree. So what does it mean? It means that every problem we should approach every problem, and problems are our shortcut to our significance. And also for Africa also, after I finished my live broadcast, I had a call from United States, and the lady was saying, okay, that she was, because I mentioned my case that anytime one of my programs that I want to initiate in my state is all those little kids that they tag them witches and wizards. Those are the kids I want to go and build accommodation for them, so that I can give them a place and shelter for them to stay, and provide them with good education and some life amenities. So I received a call from the woman. The woman said, okay, that she is also doing the same thing in this African country, Congo. That the government in Congo is not helping the matter. Is not helping. So I was able to give her some strategy how to build a system, because I was privileged to listen to Pastor Sunday on a series on how you can build a system that you can run anything anywhere you are. The system will be working. So thanks to the problem, because our generation that we are sitting down, every one of us that we are sitting down, our generation, we are going headfirst to hunt every problem that is every problem that is keeping Africa the way it is. So, Doctor, I really want to appreciate you. Thank you for showing us the problem.
The key to prominence.
Thank you so much for sharing that. I love to share stories, but sometimes I just don't know which story to share. Especially because I don't know, but when I look at Pastor Sunday, I think I see someone who I modeled after but has gone far and in more experience. So every time I think I'm alone,
See an example.
I'm seeing someone who is there. I mean, so I have nothing to fear now. I only know I need to go further than where he has been. But I'm not yet anywhere near where he is. So I know there's
You have a long way.
there's a long way to go. But
it's not, I think it's about 20 years difference. So you as long as an old man,
you have hope. So I think my life is an evidence to this theory. Is an evidence to this. It's no longer an hypothesis. It is in fact a law. It is a law because it is what runs the world. It is the system that has been made, that God has given so that the world can run. That is why humans exist. Because if you would not forget that on the sixth day he created man, and on the seventh he went to rest. The question would be, why was there no jaguar? Why was there no airplane? Why were people not going into space in space rockets? You find out that was the principle that God himself, the creator, existence himself, has laid down. And so even
mention the principle so that people are getting all the time.
Your problem is your shortcut to prominence. It is a principle that existence, because God himself is existence. God is not someone who could just describe and that is all with some adjectives. God himself is existence, is everything, is all that all is. And that's the principle that he has laid down. And if you must exist in existence, if you must exist in a part of eternity, which is called time, you must follow that same principle. It's the principle of problem. It's the principle of looking for problems and creating solutions out of problems. My life, I said, is an evidence to the fact that this is true, because everything everything I've done so far, it has been because one day I saw a problem and I tackled it head on. Is it the problem of uniting the Nigerian students? Is it a problem of looking at my life and not seeing a victim but seeing a victor? And how do I practically convert the scripture that says we who have received the comfort of the Holy Spirit have been made able ministers of that same comfort? It is because there was a pain, and yes, I received comfort, and I was able to convert that comfort and use it and disseminate. I became comfort to others. But if indeed there was no problem, if that problem of pain, if that problem of despair had not risen, I would never have received comfort in the light in which I received it, and never would I have been able to become a dispenser of same. So people who know me by my book, they know me by that book, but not orphaned, and the title is specific, but not orphaned. They will
Lost
never,
father and mother.
yeah. How can you lose your father and your mother and you are saying but not orphan? It doesn't really make sense. But that book and the title is specific because there was a problem, and the problem was now the main problem was now, how do you tackle this problem? And because this principle is true, that your prominence your problem is a shortcut to your problem. By the time
Your
I release
prominence.
your problem is your shortcut to your prominence. And because this principle was real, by the time I released that book, a whole lot of people knew me. They knew
Prominence came.
yeah, and they knew that the strength of character in this young man. And though that place was not my destination, but it was also something that I'm coming through to get to where I'm going to. And because a lot of people can see but not often and say, oh wow, this story makes sense. So now, and I'm still able to do so many things that I'm doing. By the time the next phase comes, trust has been built. That trust might not have been built if there was no problem. As a matter of fact, I think it's a total fallacy and it's a flaw in our theology to ever teach that man should live without problem. It's a flaw. It is not true. To be praying away problem is as bad as praying away your destiny and your calling, because you were created in and placed in time, placed in space, placed as a matter to fix something. That was your calling, to fix something, and whatever it is that you are going to fix is a problem. And so the question is, when are you going to discover that? The next time somebody is praying away problem for you, you should be suspecting somebody who is praying for the delay of your prominence.
No, for the cancellation of your prominence.
Okay. now let's explain.
Yes.
All right.
This is the book here. Problems, your shortcut to providence. Okay, what you say people are saying there?
Okay, hello. We have Ebenezer that's saying sorry about that. I think that was during Kate's comment. Sorry, Kate. Yes, that's from Pat. Chioma is saying good to see you. Then we have a lot of Kates.
Start from the last.
Okay. Now, yes, right. That's Ebenezer again. Then we have deep wisdom from Oluwatoyin. Ebenezer say, where I am now is and where God has taken me, and where God has taken me is because of the problem I have gone through. That's Ebenezer confirming the theory. And then we have awesome, excellent, sir. That's Ebenezer. Elizabeth said we need a book, The Plague of Comfort by Dr. Success.
I already have a book like that, but in Russian.
Dr. Sunday said he already has a book like that, but it's in Russian.
It's called the greatest inability.
Okay, the problem.
The greatest inability.
The book is called The Greatest Inability. Disability. Okay, The Greatest Disability, but it's about comfort being a problem. Oluwatoyin said, I got that right. Reverend Roslyn says, problems are shortcut to prominence. Okay, she's just repeating. Oriyomi said, one could only imagine Oluwatoyin said, I called the 3 troublesome men. I think there's 3 of you. Then I have Reverend Roslyn saying, problems are strategic destiny processing tools. Pat says, some problem God wants to save you. God wants to save your life. You don't know. You call it problem. Chioma says, we are taught to keep confessing scriptures to come out of problems. Godwin says, hello to everyone. Ebenezer says, when you read this book once, you put it down, you read it again, you will get it.
Okay. Let's continue. I want to raise another. In this book, in the caption that is written on top of the book, it says, you secure your place in history through problems you solve. You secure your place in history through problems you solve. So if Africa is full of problems, is that an opportunity to secure our place in history? What do people have to say to that?
Yes, definitely. We book our place, we secure a place in history by solving problems, because every person that is known in history today is known because of a problem that is solved. So nobody will remember any man on earth if he hasn't gone ahead to solve a problem. So we of course know Pastor Sunday today because of the problems that he has solved and the problems that he's solving. So if Africa is full of problems, then that means it's an opportunity for many historians, for many history makers to arise and book their place in history. So, absolutely.
And the question of problems arising and the question of who is the problem for arises because the problem for one oftentimes is a problem for many. And so when it's a problem for many, then there's a need for a savior, at least in that field. There's a need for, the people are looking up to or looking towards who we solve. And this, in fact, is the fundamental problem of Nigeria, like you have addressed in your book, Nigeria and the Leadership Question. They search for a model savior who will just come and save Nigeria. So should anybody arise and realize that, there is no model savior, I can do this, I can stand up, then it means there are a lot of people, the lots of people already awaiting a savior is the number of people you are exposed to as a savior. And so the prominence arises the moment you even step up and say, yes, I want to do this, because it's a problem everybody is conscious about. It's a problem everybody is looking, at least many people, to use a least form of multitude. Many people are looking for who will solve this. So it means so many people are waiting. And so the moment that you can even stand up and say, I want to attempt, it already brings you to the attention of so many. So the moment you are now able to solve it, you've stamped your name, not in the sands, but in the rock of time.
In addition to what everybody has said, the problems in Africa, any man, any woman that has attempted to solve a problem or see the problem and identify the problem and go headway towards the problem, you will be able to write your name on a golden pen, because everybody that is prominent in this world today, they have solved a particular problem. Steve Jobs has solved a problem. Mark Zuckerberg, that is everywhere today, solved a problem. So we have thousands of problems in Africa. We have massive problem in Africa. So everybody, anyone who attempts or see that problem and will go its on to address that problem, that person will be able to write his name on a golden pen in this time and generation to come. And some of the people that solve problem, even in eternity, their name will be written there. So the last time I checked, it's not people that are without sin that will go to heaven, many of them will go to hell because they were the solution provider and they did not provide that solution.
They didn't do anything.
They didn't do anything. So please don't run away from problem.
I want to journal something. What I want to say, I heard Pastor Victor was saying, your name will be written on the rock of the history. You also said your name will be written in golden letters.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? In Ukraine, those names are written on the streets. You know, the name of Patrice Lumumba. You know, the name of different writers, history makers. Their names are written on the streets because the streets are named by those people. They are in the history for ages because they have done something. You know, years ago, I asked myself, why writers like those who are writing romances and something like this, entertaining, why did they get into the history? Like for what? For entertaining people. And I started discovering that those writers actually they were challenging some issues in the society. And because they challenged something that we think it's invisible, but it impacted those things that they were raising. They impacted people's minds, culture, and changed a lot of things. So it became visible. And they went into the history. And we have a program in our school to learn about those people. I'm not sure we will learn even about Steve Jobs in the school.
In future, yeah.
For now, like we are not learning, but about those people who changed minds, we are learning in schools because they impact history, they impact all of us. So why did those people got into the history? Because they saw problem in the society and they started solving those problems by the way they could. So someone can build a house and solve a problem like this. Someone can fix the roads and solve problems like this. Someone can change people's minds and solve problems like this. But all of them, they get into history and they get into history books and they get into the names of the streets. And even some of them will be by someone's names. Universities will be named. And why not your name? But I have something else.
Okay.
Many people they are looking for for jobs, and I think the best job is to become a problem solver. And it's easy to do. When you are in public transport and you see that the public transport is dirty, you can build a business on this because someone needs to clean. If you see that the streets don't have flowers and trees, is a problem. You can become a solver. You can make a business with this. So there is no problem in finding job for yourself by solving daily problems. And if you find problems that will be like as big a problem as more far you go. So if you solve just the problem of flowers on the streets, you just do business. But if you find national level problems, you will become a history maker and got into the history.
Well said. Now, let me show you again. This is the book here. Problems, your shortcut to prominence. It's true. Problems are your shortcut to prominence. Yes, please. You want to say something?
Yes, sir. So just an example of somebody who, like Victor said, stood up when others were running away was David. When Goliath was challenging the whole nation of Israel and everybody was running for cover, a young boy who understood what we are talking about decided to stand up. And the mere fact that he decided to dare something that everybody was running away from got him the attention of the whole nation. Because that was when they brought him before the king. And the king, he got the attention of the king. And he was able to speak with the king that, yes, I can go, I can conquer this. So the mere fact that, like, for example, in Africa, we have a lot of problems. There's the problem of electricity, the problem of the environment, and all sorts of problems, thousands and thousands of problems. The mere fact that you decide to stand up and you say, I am able to go for this. This is going to be my problem from today. That mere fact alone places you on a pedestal that no other person has been. And then by the time you stand up and you say, look, I'm going to take on this, like David, like the young boy David, then you have an opportunity to, like they said, write your name on the rock of time, to write your name with an indelible print. So whatever problem it is, every prominent person in the world today, in history and in the world today, is because of a certain problem they rose to. There's a story I read about nomadic farmers. They said that usually nomadic farmers in Asia, in the continent of Asia, that this is how they know which cattle is going to survive a storm. When there is a storm, the storm is coming against their cattle. They said this is how they know which cattle is going to survive and which cattle is going to perish. They said whichever, as the storm is coming, whichever cattle is trying to run away from the storm, they know that cattle is going to perish. There's no hope for those ones. But whichever cattle will run against the storm, even though the storm is coming, the storm is rushing, but whichever cattle is ready to rush against the storm is going to face the wind. Those are the ones that survive. So there is always a problem that is running against an entire nation. There is always a wind that is blowing against a certain people. When the rest of the people are running, they are running away, they are running the direction of the problem. You just think about it scientifically. If you are running the direction of the wind, it's easier for the wind to carry you off, to blow you off like the rest of the people. But if you are going to run against the wind, then that means you are going against a force. So that is when actually you stand a chance to be retained when history will be written. So I really hope that you and I, everybody that is listening on this platform, especially from Africa, we can look at all of these problems that we have, and rather than see them as the problems of the nation or the problems of the continent, we can begin to see them as our own problems and begin to rise up and challenge them. So, like Pastor said, you have an opportunity, in the history books, when you stand up to problems, when you begin to, take responsibility for problems. So at the end of the day, there are no national problems. There is my problem. There is your problem.
No government problem.
No, there's no problem of government. There's nothing like a government problem. There's no problem of the states. There is my problem. This is my problem. This is what I can do. If this environment is dirty now, it's not the problem of everybody. If I can sweep, if I can clean up this place, then that becomes my problem, because it's what I can do at that point in time. So I hope that everyone, we can begin to take responsibility. We can say, this is my problem. The moment that David saw Goliath as his problem, he said something. He said that, how will you, this uncircumcised Philistine, insult the army of my God, So the moment that you stand up and you say, this Goliath, you are my problem, I stand up for, against you, I'm going to take you on. Then at that moment, an history maker is born.
There is another thing in this book here. It's called subtitle. The subtitle of this book, you cannot read it now, but the subtitle of this book, I will tell you, Problems, Your Shortcut to Prominence. The subtitle says, if you are not solving a problem, or if you are not solving problems, you are not needed. If you are not solving problems,
You are becoming one.
yeah, you are not needed. What do you have to say about that?
I think everything that we have in life is a property in one way or the other, and it's a resource, yes. And every resource is either going to be an asset or a liability. There are no two ways about it, especially in the case where the situation warrants and needs this resource, where resources are needed. So I think, as Pastor Sunday has said, I think it's even very nice to say you are not needed. I think you are becoming the problem. I think if there's a problem and you are not solving that problem, and you have the ability to, and you know, solving a problem and having the ability to is not just about it's not just about having the know-how. Sometimes you are a connect to a connect. Sometimes it's just about the fact that you recognize that there's a problem and you can call this person and say, come, there's a problem. Sometimes it starts from starting the discussion. Sometimes it starts from encouraging the discourse. Sometimes it starts from going down just that 1 mile to try to get something done. Sometimes it starts it's on the level of supporting those who want to talk about the problem, and not just it's sometimes about not being indifferent, because every time you are not doing something to solve the problem, you are becoming a part of the problem. You are becoming a part of the problem, and so therefore life and the principle that governs it will make you useless. It will run because you are not offering any value, and once you are not offering any value, you'll quickly find out how much the world can live without you.
To add to what Victor just said, if you are not providing a solution, we don't need you, according to the subtitle on the book. So why people die? People who solve problems, they don't die. So why people die is because they have not solved any problem. That is why people die. As a matter of fact, anytime you on light, somebody is resurrected. Edison is coming back to life, because in African belief, it is we have this belief that once somebody is dead, that you don't have any right to mention the person's name again. Have you heard about that? Have you heard about it? In my place, even if you try to mention name, if you have a young person, the older person will come and cover your mouth. Don't mention, because they are saying that once you mention his name, that you are invoking his spirit. So what am I trying to say is that everybody that solves a problem, they don't die. They live as long as that the problem that they have been able to solve. And also, please, I beg everyone on the platform to get this book. You need to read this book. Let this book spoil you up. Let this book give you some. Let this book awaken the lioness that is in you. You have a lion, and let this book bring out that lioness. David was not just going to confront Goliath. It was something that propelled him to run towards the problem, which was like a Goliath, in the person of Goliath. So you have to take this capsule. This is a capsule that will enable you to run towards and hold the problem and solve the problem.
I think one of the things that challenges me as an individual ever since I was small is statistics. When statistics are made, and usually sometimes, especially these statistics that United Nations will roll out, and they will say maybe 70% of people are poor, and 1% of people are suffering, and this is like living on $1 per day. And ever since I was small, I had always had this mental picture that which of these boxes would I always want to fall into, because as we are sitting, certain people are somewhere making statistics on our behalf. They're already making, the food we are going to eat, the dresses we are going to wear. They are already trying to, decide what the future, what life is going to be about. So there are just a few people who really are living, who matter, and then the rest of us, we are just living by those decisions, by those statistics. So the United Nations may say 80% of people are living below $1, but let's roll out food for them. Let's develop a welfare system. But you have to also realize that those people that are trying to solve problems, they are individuals. And then, so it's just like treating certain people like animals, or that is the way they are, trying to, let's go and give them food. You know, the same way, like if you are raising dogs at the back of the house, you say, okay, it's time for food, now go and give the dogs food. You know, and that is the way many people are living, unfortunately. So they are waiting for the United Nations to bring welfare, you know, the same way you carry food to goats, to go come and bring them welfare food to pigs. So when you are not solving a problem, if you do not belong to the league of, like the United Nations of humans who are taking on problems, solving problems, you are among the people that they are taking food to. You know, they are trying to, the same way like in Nigeria today, so many people are waiting for the government to solve the problem. So they want to belong to the statistics. So government is raising all kinds of statistics. You know, so this is the number of people that use our road each day. These are the number of people that pay taxes. These are the number of people we need to feed. These are the number of people we need to pay for their children's school fees. Whenever we are allowing other people to raise such statistics over our head, then that actually means that we are dead, that we are biomasses, we are not needed. But the moment when you take on problems, you begin to raise statistics. Like you said, you want to raise homes for small kids in your state. Now you are thinking, you are raising statistics. How many of such children are there? How many of them are homeless? You know, you are raising, then that is when we become human beings. That is when we begin to live. Outside of that, outside of taking responsibility for problems, we are not better than dogs, pigs, and goats, and plants.
And even those ones do. So if you go and insult an animal,
The feces.
they do. If you've encountered who will come to your funeral, probably you will find out that even animals, they do.
They come.
Yeah, because they know there's a need for, there's no need for silence. So the birds, you can hear that one shouting. Yeah. It's making a noise, making itself felt. It's vibrating, contributing to its quota to the atmosphere. Yeah. So, but humans, we don't want to. You see a dog today, the dog realizes why you should be happy. That's why it's always wiggling its tail, running at you,
or singing the birds.
Yeah. So they
are making their contributions.
They do. So I think we the ones who have been given dominion are now the ones who are living like they dominated, and we need to come alive. We really need to come alive.
You do have an opinion about this? No. So that's that book. Or you want to say before? That's this book. Problems. People used to think that problems are tragedies. But I've been able to prove over the years to my church members that problems are opportunities. But I started out by saying problems are opportunities. Then I advanced to say, to make them realize that now problems are more than opportunities. Problems are springboards. Then, now, I just wrote this book. Problems are not just springboards. Problems are shortcuts. For example, all of you who are watching me right now, you are all dreaming of one day meeting Pastor Sunday Adelaja or DSA. All of you are dreaming of one day coming to Ukraine. All of you are dreaming of one day doing what I'm doing or seeing how I'm living or something like that. But the people, the men who decided to solve problems, they are sitting with me right here. Mayowa decided to come solve a problem, here to help us, to, here, and she's right here. Because he decided to come and help in the house, ID is now right here. All these guys are helping me one way or the other. They are right here, sitting down here now. Why? What other people are dreaming of, shortcuts comes when you decide to. If you want to be in anybody's environment or atmosphere, go and find out the problem that person has. And go and provide answers for it. Kate, that is how, there are thousands of people who are Embassy of God people all over the world, or in Ukraine even. But she got into my environment right there because she decided to solve my problems. You know, problems are a shortcut. Problems are a shortcut. If you want to get the attention of the president, come up with a business plan, come up with a project that suggests to the president answers and solutions to the issues and problems that he's dealing with. Problems are shortcuts. If you want to become a friend of your hero, first of all, go on research. Every hero, every great man has problems that he's looking for people to resolve. Come up with a suggestion to resolve that problem. You'll be sitting. That's what it talks about diligence. You'll be sitting with that great man there and be eating with him. Problems are shortcuts. Let's say you want to become a politician. Come up with some ideas with the prominent politicians in your environment. Solve their problem for them for free. You become the next hero in the neighborhood. Let's say you want to get to know the richest people in your town, in your city, the most prominent people. Come up with a solution for the headache they have. Problems are shortcuts. So don't use problem as a money-making venture only. Use problems as your own shortcuts rather than just money. Problems could get you money. The problems you resolve give you, money. I have another book that is saying where there is problem, there is money. That is one aspect of problem. But this one, I'm talking about problem being a shortcut to prominence. The other book is problem leading you to money. But this one is significance, shortcuts that are available to you thanks to problems. Well, if any one of you still have to say anything, we can say it before we go out today.
Actually, I remembered when you spoke. Then, when I came to the company where I was working, like about 5 years ago, first 6 months I was just working there, and then I was listening to teachings of Pastor Sunday about that you need to look for problems. And I came to my boss and I said, "Why are you staying so long at work?" And she said, "Well, I have this, I have that, I have to do it." And I said, "Okay, let me do it." And I did those things that she needed. And then next time I see her staying again, and I say, "What's your problem?" And she said, "I have this and that," and I made it. And 6 months sitting in this place, I was the same agent I was. But in 1 month of just asking her, "What's your problem?" I became a leader of the IT team. Okay, so
by helping resolve.
Yes, just saying what's your problem and helping to resolve her problems. So this is the shortcut to prominence.
Hello guys, we have Reverend Rosalind saying, "Sure, thank you." Okay, and then what else do we have here? Reverend Rosalind says, "I love to bring solution to where there seems to be impossibilities and crises." Okay. Nana says, "That was not fault finding, but putting them in apple pie, my dear." Okay. I think there's a conversation going on here. Paul is saying, "If you're not solving a problem, you're not needed." DSA quote. Anastasia says, "Once again, this is so African counter culture to run towards and seek problems. We can take a leaf out of the Bible when David ran towards Goliath." Thank you. We have history makers, world changers, and solution providers are here. Hallelujah. That's Paul. Chioma is responding to Nana. I think that's it. There isn't much comment. Wow, wow, wow. If you solve national level problem, you become a history maker, Kate. That's your quote, Kate. Okay. I think the rest is conversation.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, everybody. It was nice being with you. I'll be back in the next 40 minutes. Yeah. In the next 40 minutes, I'll be back with the 5th level of truth. And then from tomorrow, I will continue to talk about the power and force of truth, but I'll be talking on something else. I think I should talk about what is, I don't know yet, but I'm still thinking, should I talk about what is truth, or I should talk about another thing? We'll see. God bless you. See you tonight in 40 minutes time.